Welcome, Holy Ones. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this glorious space. All right. Make sure we're good. All right. Everyone's in. Everyone can hear me, I hope. Yes. All right. Okay, so yesterday we had our sacred alignment. Many of you were there in that space. If you weren't by any chance, the video is available on the Patreon platform. And so we talked a little bit before we did the sacred alignment. And I said I would expand on the things we talked about yesterday today. And so we're going to dive a little bit deeper. Make note of anything as I'm speaking if you'd like. And then we're going to have a little Q&A at the end so that you can bring those questions into the space. First off, I want to say you're freaking amazing, and I'm grateful to walk with you. And I hope you see your incredibleness the way I do. Many of you know me pretty well, and you follow me in different ways. And you know that I love to say, most of the time I will say, hello, Holy One. Yes, you're familiar with my words. Or I will say, hello, beautiful one, because you are. Because you are. You are beautiful, and you are holy, and you are divine, and you are incredible. I love that. That's what I get to see. That's what I see when I look at the world. Now, yes, I have moments where I go, where's your holiness, little one? No. Those moments can creep in, yes. But I remember my wholeness, and I remember my holiness, and I remember my beautifulness, and I allow myself to choose to come from that space of me. And as long as I'm coming from that space of me, I'm going to see more of that in the spaces of you and everyone around us. Yes? It's alignment and vantage point. All right, so I'm going to jump right in. I want to talk about some applicable things today, like supplements and herbs and reading materials and mushrooms and glorious higher vibrational ways we can assist our vessel, our temple. And I also want to talk about some consciousness, connective understandings. All right. So first off, I want you to think of this with me, please. Your being, all right, your consciousness, your energy, your light, that's your eternal self. Most everyone here, I believe, if you found your way here, you believe that you are eternal. You believe you are not just one time through and you're, been and done. You believe you most likely have been here before or other spaces, and you'll be in others again. So that space of you is what I call the I am, because it doesn't have anything hooked on the other side of it yet, but it becomes much. Yes? So in one life, it may say, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a husband, I am a son, I'm a teacher, I am a doctor, I'm a star being, I'm an angel. And in all its other various spaces, the spaces on the other side of I am change as the being changes. So the I am is before all the roles and titles and spaces. It's the consciousness, it's the light, it's the being. And then the I am, as it has these spaces of itself, which you and I are having right now, as these versions, yes? As it has those spaces of itself, if it allows itself to remain connected into its understanding of its I am, then that vantage point and that power of its being will be the mother, will be the husband, will be the daughter. Do you see me? Yes? It's the connectivity of your remembrance to your I am that allows you to then live from that space of your being. Why would you want to do that? Because in that space of your being is the ultimate alignment of love. And so if you're living there, what are you bringing into the space of you that is the mother? The ultimate alignment of love. What are you bringing into the space of you that is the self? Ooh, the ultimate alignment of love. When you look at your body, when you look at your hair, when you look at your skin, when you look at, whatever you're looking at, whatever you're thinking about yourself, coming from your I am, you're going to come from an ultimate alignment of love for yourself. All right, now, when you're in human form, and we all here are, yes? So you are now inhabiting a vessel. Your body is your vessel, it's your temple, it's the means of which you experience you. Now, being human and staying connected into your I am, you have as a human the abilities of your thoughts and your imagination. Those are abilities, yes. Some people want to get away from thinking. They say, oh, I think too much. I remember those days. It's not that you think too much, it's what you're thinking about too much. When you're thinking about things that make you happy, you can be overloaded and it doesn't matter, But you are the director of what you think about. So your thoughts and your imagination are your directive tools of your I am in your human form. Your thoughts and your imagination are your directive tools of your I am in your human form. So then, because you're human, you're going to acknowledge with me right now, and this may be just solidifying and confirming, but that just expands, so let's do it. That being human means you do another very important thing. If you are allowing that higher alignment of deep connectivity with your I am, and you are bringing that in through your being into your now vessel, through your thoughts and your imagination coming from that vantage point. So your thoughts think as the I am. Your imagination imagines as the I am. All right? My lighting's changing very quickly. The sun's coming up in front of me, so we're going to deal with it best we can. I might have to shut a shade, but all right. Now, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to allow yourself to look at your actions, because you're human in a format that thinks and imagines, and then what do? We act. Sometimes we react. Sometimes we respond. But we take actions in our daily lives. We take zillions of actions, from as simple as brushing your teeth to conversation, to love, to anger, to stress, to peace. There's all kinds of ways in which we are having actions. But now I want to take this one step deeper with you, all right? Wait. Okay, that'll be a little bit better. It's getting pretty bright in my face. I love sun coats, but I also have to be able to see you. All right, so now listen to me really carefully, all right? So you have your I am space of your being that is inhabiting a human form. Connective point in human form is the heart for the I am. The connective point in human form of the I am is the heart, okay? Now, your heart is, think of your heart center and think of I am love. I am love. And then it pours through your heart center. It's like a portal, a gateway of you. And it pours through your heart center and it goes up your being and down your being equally through your whole vessel. And that is the love of the I am of you flowing into the now version of itself. And then through your thoughts and your imagination, you are allowing the focus of the I am in the now. When you allow the connection of your I am into the now being, and you're not separating yourself out and disconnected, alone, it's all on you. And there's no judgment here, please. I'm trying to throw the, life preserver out into the water for anyone that maybe isn't on the ship yet, and they're still in the ocean waters flailing around and they're feeling like some days the waves are hitting them in the face. Or you may know someone who is in this space and you can make note of this for them. Many of you are healers and you do this work where you work with people, right? So the understanding of the disconnected self feels very separate and alone. And you know, this is for everyone right now across the board, because I walk in this space as well. And I know some of you very, very well, and you share with me, and I know some of you have as well. And some that look at us may not think we do, but we have moments where we can feel as if the space feels yucky. Some kind of experience with either ourselves or someone else, and the energy feels yucky. We don't like it. It feels heavy, it annoys us, it triggers us, it makes us angry, frustrated, you know, whatever it is, right? When that feeling comes in though, that's actually the life preserver hitting the water. You just threw it to yourself. And when it hit the water and splashed your face a bit with the feeling you don't like, that you don't like having right now, right? That's you saying to you, hello, get back on the boat. You jumped off. Why are you over there by yourself? Come on, grab the life preserver. We'll pull you in. That's your I am on the ship of you. We'll pull you in. Don't be over there on your own on this. And then you grab the life preserver if you're really done feeling it, you know, and you say, I trust, I allow, I let go of these dense spaces that I'm feeling, and I know without a doubt this too shall pass. I will be on the other side of this. It's a space of me I'm going through because I'm leaving it. How do you get out of it if you don't walk through it? Get out of it. Just let it be right where it is. Leave it there. Bless it with your love. The only reason why it's there is to bring the wisdom, and you, by not engaging it and allowing it to become bigger than you, have gained the wisdom. That's the wisdom in every one of these spaces, that they're not bigger than you, that your emotions don't run the show, that you decide. But you have to get good at it. And sometimes you need to get good at just taking the darn life preserver you're throwing yourself, right? Sometimes people feel like they're in the water a lot. I can remember those days. But then, just like we get really good at being in the densities, we also get really good at being free. You get really good at it. Never give up on yourself. The freedom that awaits you is so beyond understanding. Never give up on yourself. You are worthy of that freedom. And so your thoughts and your imagination are the focus point of the I am. And so when you're living in a connected state of your being, and you are not separating yourself out, you are allowing that flow of your wholeness to come in through your heart, through your I am center, into your now life, into your everyday experiences. And you are allowing the focus of the I am to be what moves within your thoughts and your imagination. How powerful are you, Divine One? How are you seeing this? See, for a long time, you probably thought, even from a space of a space of myself, that I was having to imagine myself out of ABC. I had to imagine myself out of density so I could be in bliss, you know? But the thing is there's my wholeness imagining me out as well. My I am imagining me out as well. I'm not, this imagination is source. This imagination is power. This imagination is the divine. So that's when the I am is having its focus in the now. Through your imagination and your thoughts, the focus comes in. What happens when you focus on something? It expands it. So whatever you're sticking that powerful focus on, you will amplify until you decide to move the focus to something else. And your actions are the way in which the I am comes through in your choices and your emotions and your responses or your reactions, the way you experience your life. So these spaces of the heart and the focus and the actions, the I am, love, the imagination, the thoughts, the way in which you make choices, the way in which you feel things. Allowing ourselves to expand our understanding of our power. You are never separate from source, never. It's embedded in your DNA. It runs within your blood. It is truly within the frequency vibration of your body and your energy signature. Source, the divine, God, the one, great spirit, whatever your word is, emanates through you. Now, when one disconnects from that understanding is when one feels these spaces that are the flags, you know, to let you know you fell off the boat. I fell off the boat. We fell off the boat. And so the whole thing is just know that you have the ability to get right back on. You should have to stay in that water. It's up to you if you want to, you know? And it's really interesting. And this is not judgment. This is information. If it comes off as judgment, please allow yourself to see the life preserver that's right by you and get back on the boat. But listen to me. And some of you have said this to me yourselves. The brain, you know, we're talking about the body today. We're going to talk about herbs and supplements and such, and what you put in your mind with books and so forth, teachings. But the body creates chemicals. We know this. And in different spaces of life, sometimes the body will not create as much as it should of a certain type. I went through a space they call perimenopause. And so my body wasn't creating estrogen and progesterone correctly, you know. I did not know it at the time. I thought I was dying. I can laugh now because I'm on the other side. In the moment, it was very, very big, but it taught me so much about my beautiful vessel, about my temple. And so when you're navigating your spaces and you're shifting and healing your life and you're expanding your understanding of yourself, as you are moving through these spaces, your body has been used to you living a certain way. It has been used to you thinking a certain way and feeling a certain way. And it has been producing your chemical makeup like a pharmacy. Your body is, right? You know? And so those chemicals your body's gotten used to. So it's almost like when you're doing awakening process for your being and you are leaving reactive spaces and you are anchoring into responsible self-mastery living, you're going to begin to produce different chemicals. And sometimes the body can say, hold up, wait a minute, we want our stress hormone, we want our cortisol, we want our, you know, we don't make this much dopamine or serotonin or whatever the good ones are, right? And they're all good. They all have a purpose. It's balance. It's balance. So what I'm asking you to do today is, first and foremost, I want you to know you are a miracle worker and that you do not necessarily have to rely upon drugs or herbs or any of this. You can heal your body and be whole and well with your I am miraculous, deep interconnectivity flowing through your being. Absolutely, 100%. And I see it in the work I do. But the understanding I'm offering you here today is no one judges that you need oxygen for your human body to survive. No one says, well, why do you take oxygen if you're spiritual and you're a miracle worker and you're an energy healer? Why do you need oxygen? Why can't you just not breathe oxygen? Because the human body is designed to have oxygen. And if we love the human body, we'll give it the oxygen. We actually communicate and deeply interconnect with the trees and the plants in the way that we have oxygen. It helps them with what they do in their existence as well. It's a cycle. We're designed to live on this planet. And the design is divine and miraculous and mind-blowing. And in that design is this space of caring and nurturing the body, the glorious temple. You know, if you built a structure out of wood and you didn't put any paint or sealant on it, and the rains came and the winds came and the sun came day after day after day, eventually that wood on that building is going to need some assistance, because it has done everything it can possibly do, but it has not been given any assistance through sealant or paint or insulation or whatever it is. And you're going to have to replace some pieces probably, because they're going to need some replacement because they got worn out. A lot of humans get very worn out because they haven't been caring for the temple. And they may need some new shingles on their roof. They may need a new foundational space because they cracked it up a bit. You know, they were so stressed out for so long. They wore their nervous system to a thin line. Maybe they even popped it. Now they're trying to get it to come back together. And then they say, I just don't understand. Why is it so hard? Why do I keep seeing these same spaces over and over again? And I don't say that in judgment, please know. I lived in those spaces, so I have the authority to speak because I healed my life. But I had spaces of myself where I was so angry and so mad and so done. And I was so done with saying sorry because I was always reactive. Because my inners were worn so thin. You have to nurture the temple and care for it. You know, think about it. Have you ever had that experience where you've planted some flowers around your house maybe, or got a beautiful flower plant and brought it in, you know, to the home, or put it on the porch or something like that? It's so simple. But there's love in that. You look at that plant and you think, that's a conveyance of love. And when it's placed in the house has been given love. When it's placed in the yard has been given love. So plant some flowers around your temple, Holy One. Plant some flowers around your temple. And there's so many ways to do this. And thinking about the inner workings and allowing them time to catch up and nurture to catch up. And energy healing, absolutely, 100%. The ACASMA Quantum Energy work we do, most of you here know very well about it. Most of you are facilitators as well. But it's another level. And it goes in and repairs these spaces and heals these spaces. But it cannot force healing on anyone. You know, there's a teaching of one time where Jesus healed someone in the scriptures of the Bible. And it said that after he healed them, he said, go and be mindful how you live so you don't get yourself right back here again. And the man was healed, but Jesus was straight up with him. You know, look, dude, I got you all set here energetically, but if you go living like you were living that got you here, you're going to come right back here. Do you understand me? He needed to take care of the temple. He needed to take care of his life from the space of the connected I am. From the space of the love within. So, keeping all of this in mind, we're going to move into a little bit more experiential stuff you can apply to your life. I just want to read these notes. Sometimes I write notes and they don't really flow super well, but they're important. So I'm going to read them directly, okay? If you shift your energy, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your choices, all have to align with the vibe of the shift. You know, you can't I shifted my energy. I had an energy session. I did a whatever, clearing, whatever. And then go back in to your everyday life as the vibration you were before you shifted. Do you understand? It's not really shifting then. And this isn't judgment. This is freedom. He is the life preserver. If you don't need it, throw it to someone who does. Take the information to the world. We are better. We are stronger. We are wiser. We are more powerful than we understand. And it's time to live from these spaces of our being. You cannot heal the old density and then live as you did in the density prior to the healing. It's just impossible. You'll go right back in. All right, now, one other point. The heart, the focus, and the actions are the way you create in the field. We've talked about this before. You're creating constantly. That's how energy works. Whatever you're emanating out of your grandness, your beingness, that's your energy signature. So are you signing a note to align with and connect into and experience peace? Because that's what's in your signature. What energy vibration is in that signature of yours, yes? And it's all right if some days the signature gets scratchy. You know, it might have a little bit of a punky vibe going on. Just be aware, make note, and with your self-mastery, make a decision to alter how you're holding the pen. Maybe you need to tap it a few times and then rewrite. Because in every moment you truly are rewriting, you are truly re-emanating your being. You're never stuck in one alignment, ever. And so you are creating in the field with everything you are heart, that beautiful I am is emanating out. The focus of your imagination and your thoughts and your actions, your choices and your emotions. They are your creative force. They are you in creative force form. All right, now, a few things that I do. I am not a doctor. I am not a dietitian. I am not a nutritionalist. I am not an herbalist. Nope, nope, nope. I've studied many things for my own well-being, and I have done very well for my own being and my children. I helped my daughter heal of celiac disease. I've helped both my children heal of issues with anxiety and body issues, body dysmorphia. I've helped my husband heal of ailments with his like sciatica. And I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. And many other spaces we've healed. And these were not with any traditional, conventional medicine or whatever, you know? This is with energy work. This was with mindset, which is energy work. Mindset is energy work. Mindset is energy work. Everybody say, I got to take a course so I can be an energy healer. Learn how to set your mind. You'll be an energy healer. Learn how to set your mind. We talked about that yesterday, the dial and how we set it. All right. So these things I'm going to tell you is what I do, and some things that my kids do. They're adults now, but just keep that in mind. I'm not telling you to do them yourself, but I will share what I do. So when I first started waking up, my nervous system really needed some help because I had really beat the heck out of myself with feeling like it was all on me and I was all alone, and I refused to understand that there was help, even though I was at that time I was what you would call a Christian. And I had a Bible and I had all these understandings and teachings, but I still felt like I was dying. So, but I will say this, all along my journey of expansion and understanding myself as consciousness, I really did feel like Christ was with me the whole time, but it was not the Christ that I had been taught in the church. It was just different for me, but it doesn't mean it has to be for you. You do you. So as I was healing, I did start with St. John's wort. It's an herb. You can get it in a tea form or a capsule. It helps with mood regulation. It's natural. That means the earth gives it to you, not the pharmaceutical scientist company. All right. And anyone here who may be new to my body jerks and my accentuation of sounds, it's usually when I'm getting really deeply connected in with source and the truth that my body will do that, because the energy is moving really high, very fast. So just keep that in mind. And no, I'm perfectly fine. Everything's good. St. John's Wort's one I started with. I did that for a while, and then I started a gut healing process. I made my own kefir with coconut water. But now this isn't what you buy in a package. This is where you go get a coconut. It's a white coconut. It's like, they had the outer husk thing taken off. They sell it at they used to sell it at Whole Foods and some other health food stores I went to. I think they were from Thailand when I was buying them. I haven't bought them in a long time. There is a company called Body Ecology. If you don't have time to make these things yourself, Body Ecology, it's not cheap, but you can buy it made by them, and it's very, very good for your gut. Most of the problems in the human body are because the gut is so damaged. So I went on this journey of healing my gut. I made my own coconut water. You can look on YouTube to do how you do it, but you buy the coconuts and then you have to poke a hole in them. It's really quite fun. My kids were so into it then. And you drain the liquid out, and you have to heat it to a certain degree. And then you put in this kefir starter that is, going to assist it as it ferments. And it's going to create all these amazing little guys that I believe you'd call probiotics. And then you would drink it, for a certain amount of time. And it tastes like almost, I would say almost champagne-y, like a very weak lemonade champagne, if you would. My kids loved it. The neighbor kids loved it. Their mothers loved it because they couldn't get the kids to drink it at their house. But if they came to my house, they'd say, "Oh yes, Miss Andrea's is much better, Mommy." Kids just do that though. So, but that coconut kefir water, that was really healing in the beginning. I also did a tea with nettle leaves in the beginning. Now I wouldn't do, I didn't do everything I did do St. John's wort always in the beginning. And then I added in the coconut kefir for several weeks. Then I took a little bit of a break, like a week. And then I did the nettle leaves. Nettle leaves, you just get the nettle leaves from the health food store, and you can make a tea with them. That's what you're going to do. You put them in a big mason jar, like a big one. I don't have them here. I should have had all kinds of props. You have the mason jar, you put the nettle leaves in there, and you put the really hot water in there, and you turn the lid on it, and then you just let it set, You're gonna let it steep for hours and hours and hours. And then you can strain it with a coffee strainer, like a coffee filter, or a paper towel can work too. But you're just gonna get your liquid out and not all your leaves, And then you're going to sip on that for days. So you can take some right then if you want, and then put it in the fridge. And then for days, you're going to sip off of it all through the day. Just get yourself a sip. That, I believe, that really helps the nervous system. Now, there may be other things it does. I'm sure there are, but nettle tea. And I made it myself with the fresh leaves from the store. I'm not saying you couldn't buy it. I think anything is better, right, than, some of the spaces we hold for ourselves. But that was my beginning, and I did a lot of reading at the time. So for me, in the beginning of my journey, I read Wayne Dyer, like everything the man wrote. I listened to him as well. He had a cassette tape set, 12 tapes. You remember back in the day, the cassette tapes? So he had this set of 12 cassette tapes, and that was my favorite. And I felt like he was like a spiritual father. He had this lovely tone to his voice. And it's interesting because now people will say, I feel like they think I'm a spiritual mother. So how beautiful, right? That his work, he helped me heal my being, and now pay it forward. Now I'm in this space and offering understanding to others as well, and how we can all be this, right? And what a world we will have and do have when we are this. So what you listen to and put into your brain and your heart via what you watch and listen to is just as important as the kefir you put in your gut or the tea you drink, because you're all connected inside. You know, your brain is not sitting in a separate space of you. Your heart is not in a separate space of you. They're very connected with every other space of you. So when you hear things, you are eating them with your ears. You are ingesting them into your being with your ears. When you look at something, you are ingesting it with your eyes. And everything is energy. Everything has a vibration signature, just like you do. We talked about your signature. So when you take in an item, you're taking in its signature. So be mindful of the things you're listening to and seeing, as well as what you're eating. Yes. And I'm not saying everybody has to go out and, you know, have this perfect diet, because I don't. I'll be honest with you. I love Diet Coke. I haven't given it up yet. I did for about 2 years. And then I slowly found my way back over there. You know, I love a good carbonation drink. So I have alternatives that I try to have more of, which is a really good way to shift your life. Don't think you have to cold turkey everything. Find alternatives that wean you out. Does that make sense to you? You know, and be compassionate with yourself. Don't revamp everything on day one. If anything, leave everything alone and put something good in. And then slowly, as your intuition comes on more and more, and you'll tell yourself exactly what you need to take out. And you'll tell yourself exactly what you might want to put in. You really will. So, all right, now let's think. What you put in matters. Wayne Dyer was wonderful. Louise Hay, if you've not read her work, she has a book called You Can Heal Your Life. I never read it cover to cover, but there's so much in there. I would open it and just read whatever I was drawn to. She has a complete section, You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay. Now, in the center of her book, it's an old book, God bless. Louise and Wayne are not in physical form anymore, but boy, are they still here in spirit. All right, now, in the center of her book, she has a list of anything, most anything you could imagine going off in the body, an ailment, emotional or physical. And you can look at what you're feeling. So say you have neck pain. Your neck is prone to issue, pain, whatever. So you can look in her book and she'll have neck pain, and you go across her little chart she has, and she'll have most likely what's going on with you emotionally, which is energy. Emotions are energy in motion, hence emotion. Yes? All right. So she'll say what's off energy wise via your emotions, and then she'll give you an affirmation, which is your thought, which is another form of you in energy form, right? Energy flow of you in your thought. And that energy flow of you in your thought, when you shift it with that affirmation, that understanding, it will help heal the emotion that's connected to the physical issue. Do you understand? Yes? All right. So Louise Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life. Even if it's not for you, you might want to get it if you're a healer, you work with other people, or your family members for that sake, you know? So let's see, that was my beginning. And I did a lot of like exercise, walking, getting out in the sun, me time. That was a big thing. I had not done me in a very long time. I had small children at the time. My kids were like 8 and 3. And I was the woman who took care of everybody else's children as well. And on average, I'd have 9 to 11 children in my home. I love children. And so when my kids grew up, they felt like they were in the Brady Bunch or something because we had so many kids around, the Waltons. But I only biologically birthed 2 of them. But I needed to learn how to do me, because I had gotten really good at everybody else. I was really good at everybody else. And it looked really good to everyone else. You know, they looked at the life and they were like, look at her, she's beautiful. Her kids are beautiful. Her husband's beautiful. The house is beautiful. The car is beautiful. And the inside didn't feel beautiful, you know? And so I needed to learn to love me. I needed to learn to get my hands on that life preserver and allow my wholeness to pull me back on the ship. And I needed to learn what was my wholeness. I will tell you this, there's a supernatural, divine intervention space of you. You know this. And I heard it speak to me clearly. And it's kind of a joke, but I don't mind. I think it is kind of funny, but at the same time, it's reality. I will say to you what I kept hearing in my head, just the way I heard it. Some of you already know this one. But I would be outside working in my yard or taking care of the kids or whatever I was doing. And I worked full time as well, but I worked out of my home, so I was able to do all of this. Aren't we great multitaskers? And then we wonder why we don't have anything left, right? All right, so anyways, I'm doing all of this life, right? And I'm kind of beginning to wake up and think, I got to do me, I got to take care of me, I got to heal me, I got to listen to me. And I keep hearing, remember who you are. Like this very stern, stoic, remember who you are. And I would be like, okay, what? Like, what is going on here? And I was having visions. I know they were like past spaces of myself. My daughter, the oldest, was 8. And she's always been very gifted with seeing beings. And I would say, where were you? And she'd say, I was in the closet coloring with Jesus. His favorite color is purple. And she would tell me stories about Jesus. And then the 3-year-old would be rolling the window down as we're going down the road. And I'd say, don't touch the buttons. What are you doing? Because one time somebody rolled something up in a window, you know, and then somebody's screaming because they're rolled in a window. And so the rules were you don't touch the roller on the window, right? But the window's going down, and I say, what are you doing? Why are you rolling down the window? And she said, well, God had to go. So she let God out the window. Don't you love it though? They see so much. They know so much. They haven't been programmed and boxed up yet by all of these other outer societal spaces that diminish the imagination and rip up the connectivity, you know? And so my 8-year-old, as I'm hearing, remember who you are, my 8-year-old says, Mommy, some woman just walked out of you. I say, first I'm like thinking, is she not speaking right? She's 8. Like, would she not know how to put her words yet? You know, because when they're little and they say something that's a little off, it's so cute, right? And so I thought maybe this is like, what? A woman just walked out of me. But I was making the bed and she was playing on the floor in my room. And she was just playing and looking around. And she said, this woman just came right out of you, Mommy. And she just walked right through. But she sees interdimensionally. And I later understood and moved into the spiritual spaces of me that were vast and are vast. And you guys know what I do, and we don't even know all I do, and we don't even know all you do, but we're tapping in. We're starting to meet ourselves more, right? We're starting to remember who you are. Yes, it's so incredible. So that was happening. The 8-year-old's telling me, beings are coming out my body, and I'm hearing, remember who you are, and I'm having beings by my bed at night. And, I went through the gambit of what we all call sleep paralysis, which was very misdiagnosed by humanity. I would go out of body. All these things were happening to me. And so the spiritual side, the divinity side, the dimensional higher spaces of you are with you right this very second. And you are, and I am, learning who we are. And part of that process is the temple and the care of it, the shingles, the foundations, the insulation, the wiring, the plumbing, it all matters. Because the more you move into the remembering of who you are, the more you're going to have to house that you. And the vibration of that you are remembering you are, is mind-blowing and incredibly powerful energetically. Remember your signature. And as you expand and understand who you are, that remember who you are moment changes that signature vibrationally. So the way in which you take care of the temple is key. because you have to house that light, Holy One. So here, now you start, this is the journey, these basic spaces of rebuilding the gut and the nervous system and leaning in and learning from reputable people who had changed their lives and healed their lives. And it was almost like a mother and a father, if you think about it, because they were both much older, probably very similar in age. And I has Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer. So it's almost like a spiritual mother and father. That's beautiful. I actually wrote 2 children's books, and I believe I dedicated the first one to, they were part of the dedication. But all right, off track there. Sorry, just had a moment for myself. Those are important. All right, now continuing the journey of your temple and me and healing and what I'm going to share. So then I was doing all these things, but I was in the space where you feel like you go 2 steps forward and 3 back. So everybody knows this. I'm not alone. I know everybody has had those moments and or knows someone who has or is in them still. So I wasn't fully out, but I was sure showing up for the show. I was bringing everything I had to the table, and I was not giving up. And I did end up getting some assistance with a medical doctor. So I will tell you this because it's important if you're in that space and you need that help, all right? I went to a medical doctor because I thought I was having a heart attack, and he said, you're having an anxiety attack. It's in your head. There's nothing wrong with your body. They tested me. They said, your heart's great, you know, like hook you up to wires and all this stuff, you know. And they said to me, and many of you know the story, but it's important. They said, the doctor said, here, I can give you a bottle of pills and you can take them. But if you sat on a tack, I could put cream on it that would numb it and you would never know the tack was there, but it would be there. Or you could go find the tack and pull it out and your body will heal and you won't need the cream anymore. So I went on my way, determined that I wouldn't take any medication because I was going to heal this myself. And within about 6 months, found myself at another doctor begging for him to help me in some way because I thought I was coming out of my skin. My nervous system was just so shot and I hadn't given it enough time to catch up. I needed a little help. He gave me lorazepam. I was scared to death to take 1 milligram of lorazepam. Now, given I see these shows where people shoot up drugs, snort drugs, they do all these things with drugs and they're not scared at all. And they're crazy. And, you know, like then they're going into these trips and all this, you know, and I'm afraid to take a 1 milligram prescribed medication because there was so much fear already in my body. So anyways, I had to work through that and I did. And it was on and off. I would take it when I really needed to cut the edge because I didn't want to drink anymore. I had given up alcohol. Alcohol was something I used for a long time before I went into healing my gut. And so I had given that up and now I needed something to help me as I was healing my body. And that was what I did. And then I guess probably, I don't know, 2 to 2.5, 3 years ago, I didn't need it anymore. And it was funny because for about 6 months or so, I would have it by my bed, ready if I would wake up in the middle of the night in a bad space. You know, that's how afraid of that space I was, right? And so I would have it ready by my bed. But every morning, morning after morning, I'd flip that little lid and that pill would fall back in that bottle because I didn't have to take it that night. I didn't have to take it that night. I didn't have to take it that night. Eventually, I was like, I think we can start putting it by the bed, Andrea. That was step 2. But I want you to understand, I understand. I want you to understand I've walked in the spaces where you feel like you're going to die or you wish you would. And they're sad because you look all around you and you see the beauty of the loved ones around you and the life that's right there. And you're wondering, why can't I feel it with love? Why do I feel it with pain and stress and frustration and anger and worry? But for most of us, we're just worn out. And that's the wake-up call For most of us, we've just done way too much for way too many for way too long. And our beings are just saying, please, for God's sake, can we do us? And the whole self-love thing unfolds, and the remember who you are settles in. So now, what do I take to this day? I take GABA. It's all capital letters. You can look it up on Amazon or anywhere else. GABA. I take it at 750 milligrams in a capsule. It is naturally produced in the body, but some people at all different ages stop producing it at the same levels that they need it, and they need a little help. I will say this, I'm not a Debbie Downer. Most of you, all of you know I'm not. I'm a Henrietta Haya. I just made that up. But we are revamping our earth right now. You know, note to self, our soils need they need this same type of love. Our foods, our water, our air, we're cleaning it all up. We're in the process. But the depletion in these spaces that we feed ourselves with, and then we wonder why we're depleted, because they're depleted. So let's all give everybody and everything a break as we have compassion and understanding for ourselves, and we become the new human by we revamp this whole thing. Now, GABA, 750 milligrams. I take it at night. It helps with sleep. If anybody's waking up in the middle of the night, it does help with that. It does not make you drowsy. It will not knock you out. Sorry, if you're looking for that, this isn't your cup. But if you really need some assistance at night as well, and you want something natural, valerian, Valerian, I believe. Valerian root is wonderful. You can get it in a pill form. It does taste and smell a little potent, but if you really want some help sleeping, it is helpful. Now my daughter, she's 24 now or something. I don't know. She just had a birthday. I can't keep up. I don't even know how old I am, but I don't believe in age. So there you go. Anyways, my daughter does the GABA, but she takes it in the morning because she said it helps her chill out through the day because she is healing an ADHD type of understanding with herself. So she scatters herself into different spaces, and she's extremely creative, but she likes to create a lot of all kinds of different things. And so she has to learn to like hone it in and finish these certain spaces. So GABA kind of helps her with that as well. So I do want to give you that there's different spaces for this, right? So that it's not just at night for sleep, but there's other spaces if any of this rings true for someone else. I take ashwagandha. Don't ask me to spell that one, no. It is another natural herb, ashwagandha. I will look it up for you because it is a big one. It's very, very helpful. I used to work with people in person. I don't do that anymore. And I had a lot of clients with severe anxiety, and they did really well with ashwagandha. They do really well with ashwagandha. It really helps calm the nervous system down, and it really helps stabilize the being from overthinking. How many people do you know have that issue? They overthink everything, right? Okay, so here's the spelling. Like I said, it's very, very different. It's ASHWAGANDHA. And it's ashwagandha. This is actually the one I take. Let's see, I can show you. This is the one I take. You can find it on Amazon. I take 2 of these in the morning. I've taken this for years. I love it. I probably could get off some of my supplements now because I have given myself so much time to heal, but I haven't started weaning. I just weaned off of the medication things, not the herbal supplements. B12. I take a B12 drop underneath my tongue. I can show you that one too, probably. Let's see. Yep. Amazon's like, you want to buy it again, lady? All right, so here's my B12. I'll give you the name, but that's what it looks like. It's Why Not Natural is the top of the box there. Why, like why not natural, and it's B12. Okay, I take that every morning. You need magnesium, people. If you're not taking magnesium, you most likely, there could be a lot of things that your body is begging you to help with. Magnesium is incredibly needed by the body for more reasons than I can tell you, but the simplistic side of it is it calms you, helps you sleep. If you take too much, you'll poop too much, yes. But just don't take too much. And if you have a day where you realize you took too much, just be careful and cut back accordingly. But this is the one that I'm taking right now. I've done a lot of different ones. This is Doctor's Best. High absorption, I think, magnesium, it says. Yes, this is the lysine glycinate. All right. That's the type of magnesium. There's so many types of magnesium. I used to take citrate, CITRATE, I think, but I switched to glycinate, and I feel like I listen to my intuition as well. I feel like I work better with it. What you should do if you're interested in these is you should go onto the internet and type in these certain supplements or vitamins and read about them. Educate yourself, because that is energy going into your body, remember? That is energy going into your body, in addition to if you decide to take one. Information is energy, and good information is good energy. Yes? All right, so let's see. D, you're going to need D. I take D3. Now, some people can't get D from the sun. People don't realize that. My older daughter, Sydney, she doesn't get enough D from the sun. Her body has something going on where she doesn't make it or process it or something. And so, this is what I take, but you need to do you your way. This is Now brand, and it's vitamin D3, and it's 5,000 IU. I take one in the morning and one at night, but my doctor told me to do that, and he tests my blood once a year. I never was into that, but when I went into menopause and needed some assistance with estrogen and progesterone, I had to, and I do bioidentical. I do not do synthetic or anything in lab. Everything I do is created by a pharmacist, but they use animal and other natural products to assist the human. But anyways, I get my blood tested, so I know what I need, but most people are deficient in D3. D3 magnesium. Okay, you want a great gut? Yes, you want a great gut. It's your second brain, all right? So when I go to my doctor and he tests my blood, you know what he tells me? He says I have one of the best guts he's ever seen. One, I don't eat a lot of sugar. Many of you know I'm a low-carb person, so I don't eat a lot of sugar. Even fruit for me, that's considered like cake. True. I see fruit like cake. I don't have a ton of it. I eat a lot of vegetables, nuts. I eat meat, a lot of meat, and I eat cheese and eggs and butter. I love butter. I really do. Like if you put butter on it, I better be able to see the butter still, like in a clump. I want to taste it, like my kids, they make fun of me in a good way, but they're like, you want some bread with your butter because so much butter. But hey, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, my gut's great. So, my cholesterol level is perfect. Like, I mean, here's the gut one, all right? Now, this is this kyolic. And this is actually considered, they make a lot of different ones. Kyolic's the brand, but like the main name, but this one is the aged garlic Candida cleanse and digestion. All right, so the Candida cleanse and digestion formula, that's the one I use. First off, garlic is amazing for you. Garlic is amazing. So that alone is going to be a win-win. And then you've got digestive enzymes in this. So those are little guys that when they get into the gut area in the floral, they help with the balance of the gut. So the yeast doesn't come in and take over. Sugar feeds yeast, sugar feeds cancer, sugar feeds asthma, sugar feeds all of it, all right? Now, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Remember, I'm Henrietta Haya. So know that there's alternatives to everything. I live a rich life. I love to eat. Food is a fabulous thing to enjoy, as well as a lovely beverage. But I find things that I can make in a more healthy way and enjoy myself, and they're not full of all these things that aren't really good for us, all right? So those I take, the ashwagandha, the GABA. I'll show you the GABA. This is the GABA. Again, it's that Now brand. It's GABA 750. All right, let me think. Oh, fish oil. You got to have a fish oil. If you eat fish, that's good too. But here's the thing, be careful. Don't OD on tuna. It's high in mercury. I've had clients that they couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. And they finally got to a doctor that did a dietary screen on them and found out what they were eating. And they were having tuna 3 to 4 times a week. And it was causing them to have severe brain fog, almost like the onset of dementia in a way. They would forget where they were, why they were there, what was going on around them. And the doctor took them off of the tuna. And in about 3 to 4 weeks, that cleared up. But, you know, there's chemicals and elements in everything you eat, and enzymes and vitamins and all this, right? And you're like this massive, you know, test tube scientific thing going on, and you put the stuff in and it interacts with itself and you and the other things and in you. And so be mindful about that. But fish oil, I take a really good fish oil, but my fish oil I can't get on Amazon, so I have to go to a company called Life Extension. And they have a fish oil that I love. Let me see if I can show you real quick. I don't want a coupon, but thank you. And anybody who needs to go, I know I'm running over, but just come back and watch the video if you can't stay. All right, so this is the fish oil I take. Let's see. So this is from Life Extension, and it's called Super Omega 3. And it's a fantastic fish oil. I think they tell you to take 4 a day, but I only take 2, and I'm great. So I listen to my inner knowing. I can't help it. Let me think if there's anything else I take. I take C. I take Now, that Now vitamin brand. I take a lot of C. You need to take into consideration that when you take C, if you take too much, again, you're going to poop. I gauge myself so I know what works for me. But there are a lot of studies done where high levels of vitamin C are actually extremely good for the body. And some people have healed many diseases with just having treatments of high levels of vitamin C. I use the 1000 milligram vitamin C and by Now, and I take usually 3 in the morning, so 3000 milligrams in the morning, and then I usually take 3 in the evening. So I take 6000 milligrams of C a day. Now, there are times where I'll cut back just a teeny bit, but I'll know really fast. If I cut back too much, I don't go to the bathroom normal. I drink a lot of water too. Water's good as well. And then I'll also know if I'm taking too much, you know, because then you're like, oh, yeah, and you're running, right? And God forbid you think you just have gas, because that could be a whole other story. You'll be very sorry that you didn't run to the restroom first before you had that moment. But see, these are nice to laugh together, right? Because this part of life, right, is to be in every space with presence and love and laugh together, learn together, expand together, and embrace our wholeness together. All right, so let's see. I think I've given you my repertoire of supplements. I am on an estrogen and a progesterone, a bioidentical. Anyone in the ages of really, I would say late, probably 40 to 50. I mean, I think I was 36 when I started perimenopause, which is supposed to be like a precursor to menopause. I didn't know it at the time, but women deserve help with this. It's huge, and it's a massive space of collective that is not given in the past, has not been given enough study. We study a lot of other things in depth, but women's health in the way in which we go through menstrual cycle spaces, the way in which we go through pregnancy, postpartum, the way in which we do menopause, all of these spaces are massive hormonal shifts for the body. That talk about a massive chemical change. You know, we talked about your body all of a sudden saying, where's the, dopamine, serotonin, cortisol, whatever you're creating. Well, all of a sudden you don't have estrogen at the same rate you had before. Oh, you're not going to be sleeping at night. You're going to be having hot flashes. You could be losing your hair. You could be, your skin starts to get very dry. It actually feels like it drops. I mean, you wake up one morning, you look in the mirror and you go, oh my God, who's that person? And there's a lot more there. Sex stuff, pain in sex, even pain when you go to the bathroom, you think it might be UTI, but it's not. It's lack of estrogen. I mean, there's so much that we don't talk about, and it's your glorious divine feminine being. Progesterone the same way, stuff there, but I won't go into detail. We've got to cut it here, or people are going to start dropping off like flies, and I'm going to be looking at a blank screen all by myself. So let's leave it here. You can revisit the video. There's so much information, and we'll go deeper if you guys want to. So if you like this type of experiential, hands-on, this is what I do, this is what I read. Oh, please, if you don't know Joe Dispenza's work, for God's sake, go get a YouTube video by Joe Dispenza. If you haven't read his books are phenomenal. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, The Placebo Effect. First two books I looked into years and years and years ago. And when you're in the water looking at that life preserver, you are learning to break the habit of being yourself. And until you break the habit of being yourself, you will never be the new self. So, check out Joe Dispenza's work, though. It's fantastic. I saw him in person. I worked with him in a progressive workshop. It was phenomenal. 2017, loved it. Oh, good. Doreen just bought that book, a book by Dr. Joe. I love it. I love it. And Chantil wrote in, there will be a replay. Yes, 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 Chantil. I saw that. I saw that. I'll have that video up within 24 hours. All right. Okay. So I love you all unendingly. Big class all over the place, but huge hug. Thank you for your energy in this now. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what we are doing, because we are the way in which the new earth is. I love you all. I love you all. Blessings, holy ones. Blessings.
Love you.
I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Thank you. Love you.
Blessings, beautiful. Blessings.